Hello everyone and welcome to yet another live coding and chill. I'm your host, Johnny, and today we're starting a brand new series. We're building a brand new app. It's the sequel to our portfolio or marketing series in which we ended up with this nice portfolio website, lots of nice features, internationalization, dark mode, light mode. I do like how we ended up with two nice color palettes for either mode. Responsive as well, view transitions, which look more impressive on the big screen for sure, different transitions for going back and forth, and they all look nice. And we'll be building up from this. We're still doing Svelte 5 and SvelteKit, and this is a very likely case to what I really want you to do. So if you haven't followed the previous series, that's a great starting point. If you're starting to get into web development, before you even start that series, I'll suggest again, slide into people's DMs, tell them, would you like a portfolio website? Would you like a marketing website? And see if you can get a price, if you can get a contract going, because that's gonna both strengthen your CV incredibly. People, other engineers, gatekeeping engineers will see that and take that seriously if you've worked with a real client and delivered a real project that you could pay for. But also, you'd be learning more because another random person that's not you will be asking for random things that you'll need to implement or gracefully negotiate and feature reject. And you'll be pressed to actually finish it. You won't go to the classic point where it's a new project, you're excited, you get started, and then you kind of get bogged down and lose steam and drop for the next project. You'll reach 80% and then have to just finish it and get it out there. Maybe you'll reject some scope creep. Maybe you'll just say, this is the deliverable and I'm going to do it. But having this be paid work or something that you're going to gift to a friend is going to help with that. So I suggest, even before you start the live stream again, reach out to people, cold message them, gracefully, of course, be always graceful, and see if you can get something out of that. And then keep going with the series. I promise you will be able to deliver something that they're gonna like by the end, and then you can reach this point, this series. Of course, you can keep that pattern, which I was in that pattern for years. I don't know, it's like 20 years ago, so I don't really remember. But I was finishing one portfolio project and going to another marketing project. Simple, mostly static websites, and that was a living for sure. But at some point you may want to increase the complexity of the apps you're building because that's gonna increase your salary range as well. So now in this series, we will be talking to a database, we will be talking to external APIs, we'll be talking to OpenAI and to ChatGPT stuff, maybe get some credit to put AI engineer in your CV, because that's how you get credentials nowadays. You don't need to be the one that figures out the LLM. You can just be the one who interfaces with the LLM, which is just a black box. But we'll get to that eventually. This is also a bit of an episode 0 of the new series, because we'll be showing how you can take your latest and greatest project and from that start your new one. On the last project, it took us like 3 or 4 episodes, 15 hours of live streaming. It took us quite a while. I was trying to explain things and engage with the chat as well. But if it's not 15 minutes, it's 10 or 5. It's gonna take you less and less time to do it all from scratch, but it will still take you a long time. And what I do is I find the most related latest project that I've done and I've delivered to a client. And then from that, I base off Git branch out, which we're gonna look at today, and reskin everything and start from a sensible state. Like, it's kind of a clean slate of what I want the app to be, but it has all the nice features that I figured out how to implement. Like maybe the dark mode, maybe the tailwind CSS, all the styling stuff, but also eventually, how do you talk to the database? How do you do the external API calls? Lots of those things. You don't need to set up like the pre-tier, the ESLint, all of those things. You don't need to go through the wizards and set them up every time. And if you're basing it off your own projects, then you know why you made the decisions, why the things are like they are. Well, if you're working with another starter or like a bootstrap project, then sometimes you just don't know why things work the way they do. And sometimes your opinions, your preferences don't align with that project as well. Maintaining open source projects is a ton of work, too much work. You don't want to do that. You just want to deliver some portfolios or some apps. And if you get to a point where you can hit APIs and interface with databases, then you can also do your passion projects. You can do like your side hustles. You can start doing those things. But the best way to make money is fulfilling contracts for others. Everyone has great ideas. So get them to pay you to make them happen. That's the easiest way I found to make money. If you have a passion project, follow your passion. I do suggest that as well. Just don't expect to get any serious amount of money from that. I don't like the YouTube videos that are like, 10 great ideas for 2025 to rocket boost your relationship with work and the bank. Like, I'm not going to do that, because the one way that will always work forever is get paid to follow someone else's dream, implement those. Everyone's going to have ideas, but maybe you are the one that has the special knowledge to make them happen. So feel free to keep asking questions in the chat, because this is going to be a lightweight stream. All we're going to do really is check out this GitHub project and reskin it. I do have some instructions in here on how I usually do it. Let's see if we can follow along without any other additions. If you haven't been following along, and you don't want to create your own first starter project and then move on to databases, you can also get Johnnify Premium. All of the private code that I have for these live streams will be available to you. But again, this is a great learning opportunity if you aren't familiar with SvelteKit or maybe web dev in general, to follow along and really learn what's happening. In the end, this is going to be a starter with my opinions. So if you haven't followed the streams, maybe you'll be a bit confused on why haven't you done that. But maybe you just don't want to follow along for 15 hours. You just want the finished product. So there is an option for you. And it also supports the show. It also supports me as well. So that's nice. Anything else about something that I have done in the past 20 years is try to maintain my own like boilerplate, bootstrap, starter, whatever. But that also doesn't work, because you use it for a project, then you fix things, you add things into that project that you're scrambling to deliver as well and as fast as possible. And then you will fall out of sync with your boilerplate. You won't be maintaining that because you're only doing it for you. And you don't care that much for maintaining the boilerplate. So that's also not gonna work. What does work is try to make your latest project as good as possible. Keep building up on the unique things that make it special and that the client really wants, and then start off from that. So I would also advise against trying to create your own boilerplate, because you'll never maintain it. I know I never have. But I guess if you do support Johnnify Premium, then this does become a viable job for me. And indeed, if you ask in the GitHub repo, if you ask in the Discord, I will very likely, as it happens now that we're only like 7 people in here, I will address your comment 100%. Will I implement your comment? Maybe 90% chance. Depends on what you're asking. I am a fierce feature rejector, so I am looking for value in UX as well, on the things you want to add. Anyway, is that enough preamble? I think so. Again, say hi in the chat. I hope you're having amazing, lovely weeks. I am slightly sick today, so apologies if I sound worse than usual. But we'll make it through. I'm super excited for this new series. This is going to be a lot of setup stuff, but it's fun because we're going to be saving time, and being productive is always fun. But I'll be super excited to get to things like databases, OpenAI, all of that stuff that you really need for a more complicated web app. Like, this is a transition from a potentially static website to an interactive website. That's why we have the internet, for interactivity. And we'll make it happen. So links are in the description for everything. This is going to be a real app yet again. This is a real project. You can click around here. The new one we're making. So we've delivered this to the client. We're going on. We're not going to do another portfolio or marketing site. We're going to do an app that needs a database. That app, I think I'm going to call it Loot Goblin, and it's going to be helping nerds like me that play Dungeons and Dragons and other sorts of fantasy, science fantasy, tabletop games and pen and paper RPGs, or even if you're making a video game that's set in something like that, like a Baldur's Gate 4 offsuit or something like that, then you often find yourself needing great loot for your players. And the loot sometimes needs to be dynamic to what the party is actually composed of. If you have a party full of wizards, maybe you don't want super awesome swords, or maybe you want swords that have some magic interactivity. Anyway, the app is all about getting in there, maybe describing your party and seeing some cool loot, and also having some default loot tables for you to check and see, oh, this like +2 sword does this coin when you coin flip does this other thing. Maybe we'll be adding eventually logging in with GitHub and other providers and allowing the users to submit their own suggested loot and see if it gets like upvoted or downvoted. That'd be fun, but we'll see. As always, suggest in the Discord, in the comments, wherever, what you'd like to see me build, but I will have a more of an outline on Tuesday. So I guess up to Tuesday, if you want this series to be more about the thing that you want, then definitely let me know by then. As it stands, Loot Goblin, we're going to be doing nerdy D&D loot table helpers, and we're going to be talking to databases. Maybe we'll be talking to OpenAI to have that enable a chat interface where people say, my party is composed of this, they're this level, what should be their potential loot options, and then it replies. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. All right, so the lightest agenda we've had in a long time. I don't think this is going to be a 5-hour marathon stream. Yet again, let's see. But it all starts from somewhere. You can find this link in the description. If you have Johnnify Premium, you can actually follow on from here. But ideally, you're following on from your own starter, the website you delivered to an actual client, the one you slid into the DMs of. So lots of instructions here, but as with any GitHub repo, you may know you can get in here, get an SSH link to clone the project locally. So you can go to your terminal, and the terminal that I use is called Warp, because that also uses AI. Everything uses AI. I'd say nowadays, but actually it's for the past 20 years. It depends on your definition of AI, I suppose. So I go into a code directory where I keep everything, and you can see that I do have the portfolio project in there as well. So I'm gonna git clone the link I just copied, but I'm gonna rename it. I'm gonna rename it based on the new project that I'm building. So if I was doing like a marketing site for Paulina, the photographer that we did, and the GitHub repo was named Paulina, and now it was going to be another client, like, you know, Johnny or whoever, that's what I was going to do. But we said that I'm tentatively calling this, all temporary names are permanent, of course, Loot Goblin. Shout out to my friend who suggested this. And this is going to check out this project, the git link you copied, into this directory. And that's why we're adding this. So now I can get in here and install all my dependencies. And the first thing that I want to do, just so I won't forget, is to remove the version control. So if I make changes here, I don't want them to update the portfolio project. That's delivered, that's done. If I make changes, it's going to be in a different directory. I don't want to affect this. And I also don't want to see like the 5,000 commits that have happened in that repository. I don't need that git history. So I just remove the version control, the git version control, by removing recursively the .git directory. It's a directory of directories and stuff. And then I can git init immediately, and it starts a new git repository. And that one I can link to a GitHub project. We'll do that in the end before deploying to Vercel. And then there should be no surprises there. I guess if we run the dev server, it should run perfectly for us. And we can see that, oh, it's the old site that we had. Great. And if we open VS Code, I can have it be on the side. So let's make that even bigger. Once again, I'm gonna be trying the UI being on the left and the editor on the right. Let me know if that's any better or if it's more confusing for you. And you can see that like almost everything besides the things that are get ignored are here. And my suggestions, which you can find in the README, is that you can have like an initial commit now, but usually I like to change like a few things before I do like my very first commit. Usually I would go to packagation and see what the project is named, and then search for that project name in the project, and that will lead me to a few suspicious places which I will need to update. So this one we are calling loot Goblin, and since we are in the packagation which lists all our dependencies, I know we won't be doing internationalization for this one because I'm not quite happy with how Paraglide works with SvelteKit and Svelte 5 and runes at the moment. I think it's a bit glitchy. If we do internationalization, I think it will be a custom solution. We'd still be using Inlang, but I wouldn't be using Paraglide at the moment if I was going to production with this, especially with some that talks to a database, but we'll cover that eventually. So first, let's remove all the unnecessary things that the Paraglide helped us do. Unnecessary now that we're not using it. We still have unit tests with vtest, end-to-end tests with Playwright, and we can just make the build be vit build like most any SvelteKit project. And then we can also remove the things that aren't for this project necessarily. I guess we'll be bringing in a different font, but I'll be doing that in the styling step. No Inlang for now, no Paraglide. Playwright, yes. We'll be deploying to Vercel again. We'll be using the enhanced SvelteKit enhanced image helper yet again. SvelteKit, of course. The Vit plugin for Svelte, we need it. ESLint, let's keep it, why not? Negotiator, we were using it for language detection based on browser headers and user preference. We're not going to use it today. More ESLint stuff. Days UI, the Tailwind CSS add-on plugin library, we'll still be using that one. ESLint yet again. Negotiator gone. On change, we use that to track our translation changes, so we don't need that. Open props, it's some handy CSS variables injected into our project. We will be needing that. Post CSS is how our CSS gets transpiled. Prettier, completely necessary. And there are plugins for Svelte and Tailwind CSS to make it work with that. Svelte 5, we're doing that. Svelte Tech, Tailwind CSS, TSLib, TypeScript, vtest, great. And I guess here I could have like a quick cheeky look to see what the version of PNPM is. Is there like a PNPM upgrade? Just upgrades the latest one. Does that do something else? Does that upgrade the product? I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that did something else. We do have the PNPM run update thing, which uses npm check updates to see if everything is on the latest version. Indeed it is. I was trying to check what's the latest version of PNPM. Is it like PNPM self update? Self upgrade? Yeah. Let's have another look. Doesn't matter. Let it be whatever it was. Let's also check Vault up in Node 20. Is there like a different version of Node? Doesn't really matter. has been thorough. So yeah, packetization looks good, great. And we can PnP mine just in case yet again. And we can start removing all the dependencies that we weren't using before. I know that in the svelte config, now that we're not using Paraglide, we don't need these anymore. But we can move back to passing compiler options to say runes true. We couldn't do strict mode for runes using Paraglide. One of the reasons we won't be using it anymore. We can go to the README, definitely change that. I predict that I'm gonna be uploading this repository to Johnnify Goblin. It will make the end-to-end path work. This needs to reflect your project, your GitHub project. Loot tables for DMs. Loot tables for fun rewards and efficient DMs. I'll be uploading these links later. No in lang. And instructions how to use this repo as your starter. Your project will not have this, so you don't need to worry about that. I may add this in the end. We don't have environment variables in this one because it was a static website. We didn't need any, so nothing too crazy. I guess we'll need to go to the step of replacing favicons and other images with our own, install the taste, and all of that. I will be deleting it for now. Great, post CSS, we'll keep it the same. Player config, we'll keep that one the same as well. Something of note that I've added in maybe behind the scenes, I briefly talked about in the last live stream with hamburger menu, because the existence of the hamburger menu, which I guess I didn't show too much. For this one, when you are on mobile, then you get this nice hamburger menu. It looks cool. We had the previous live stream on how we did that. But it does mean that when your site is on desktop, then it has like more links, and when it's on mobile, it has fewer links, and the how your user navigates the app changes. I do say that the best test that you should always have the value versus effort of a navigation smoke test is insane, so I always promote a navigation test. But the complexity is people navigate differently now in this website when they are on desktop versus when they are on mobile. So what do? You can set up Playwright to say that for the desktop Chrome and Firefox, run all the regular tests, so anything that ends in .spec, but not mobile. So if it has mobile, don't run it. And for the mobile Safari one, which is our mobile sanity check, say ignore the ones that say desktop, or you could just say just find the ones that say mobile. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's how we did that. Nothing else to change here. Nothing else to change with our pre-tier preferences either. I guess no need to ignore Paraglide. That's not a real thing. More stuff with Paraglide here. No. No is linked changes. This one will change nothing for the contact form. No internationalization test. Maybe we'll have different navigation tests for desktop and mobile. What I was talking about, we'll be changing these soon. Now we could do the favicons because they're all about the portfolio website that we had, and we have different ones for this. So we may change that, but first I guess let's make the app not break. The inline doesn't need to be there. For sure, in the extensions here, you don't need to recommend the inline extension because we're not using it, at least not yet. And in here, we will only be talking in English, so I don't even need this. Good, no need to bring in the Greek spell check if you're not going to have the Greek language here. So why is this breaking? We don't need a hook because the only hook we were using was about internationalization paraglide. Here we don't need a dynamic language, it's just going to be English. The title here should be Loot Goblin. Everything else should stay the same. Type definitions should be the same. This crappy test, maybe not have it. Maybe it's just confusing. Paraglide directory, gone. Message directory, gone. And now, nationalization stuff, gone. Index file that was empty should have been gone anyway. Available locales, gone. Repos, that's the pet repo, no pets in this one, so gone. Components, so theme toggle will have, side nav will have, links will have, pets we won't have. Personally, I still have my beloved summer puppy, but that's by the by. We will be changing logos and stuff. No language dropdown for this one. The hero component will be different. Let's just delete that. The header will be different, but I guess we'll make it there. The footer will be different, but we'll need something. And then animated hamburger, we will keep icons, Discord, globe, heart. We'll see how many we'll need. But let's see if we're doing anything crazy in our layout file. Which, first of all, the title of the website should be Goblin. And do we have like a Goblin emoji? Don't like them. Treasure emoji. Loot. Gold. Chest. Chestnut. Come on. There is nothing like that. That's surprising to me. The ogre. Maybe the genie for now. Your you don't need to go crazy unless you do have a marketing team that has given you the copy, then you just copy paste it now. But for me, just to not keep the Polina name anywhere. So here as well. Open graph stuff and metadata stuff, very necessary. Paraglide, no need for that. Anymore. So now we should be closer to having a running up again. Let's restart this server. We know that the header is using some internationalization stuff, so let's get that out of here. This gets you back to the homepage. Will there be like a contact page? Maybe just an about page? No. No language dropdown. They're done. Footer. Oh, I guess it's just fine. So let's see the main page. This one. No hero, no pets, nothing like that. Just title, saying loop Goblin. So now we should be closer to this kind of working. But this is also loading the pets, but it won't be loading any data just yet. So let's just delete the server file and maybe we're gonna be good to go. No friends page, no friends on this one. And maybe like the about page. Delete this. We can keep the links for now. Anything else like this arrow page? Just fine. This one, considering the not found page, which is also personalized. So let's fix that button. Say page not found. And generic error page, also not translation for now. All right, so now we should be closer than ever to rendering something with the about page. So here for the home page, surely we're missing something. More translation stuff. Oh, the footer has. No, it doesn't. I18, the side nav has some translation stuff, of course. So none of that anymore. And no interpretation stuff, no language selection. I think we're good, and indeed we are. Head mode, dark mode, all of that works, and we can go to the about page. Looks okay. There are things that we'll want to change, but not bad for like half an hour. I've been talking most of the time, I'm sure. So I don't know how long this took us to get to like a working website, but it should be a quick amount of time. So the only two pages we care about, home and about, will be amending the copy and styling eventually, but for now I think we deleted everything we didn't want. Maybe the globe icon, we can keep it. We'll see. But I think that means we're at the stage where we can kind of safely, without working on more features, begin a project. Say initial commit based off. So you can remember which one you used last time, but then when you work to the next project, you'll probably use this one because that's your latest and greatest. That's the one where you've updated all the dependencies. That's the one that will be most up to date and will save you even more time next time you use it. So let's commit all of that. Didn't like something here. The packet says so, unfortunately. Let's double check. So now we'll be bringing in a different font for sure. Initialize, all of these things. I'm still here. Why? What did I do wrong? Forgot to press save, probably. So let's do this quickly this time. It's not a race. But gotta go fast, as Sonic would say. Right? Still works. So let's just amend the commit, and that's it. I think we can count this complete and then go to like styling the app and have the groundwork of what the Goblin is going to be like. First, let's pick, we could have done the favicons as well, just to not commit the old ones in version control, so like this one. So let's do it. So in this directory, I should have some downloads here. I've pre-created the favicons. And the ones I'm going to use are these. Paste them in here. I missed. Replace them all. I think we did get them all. No need for this. And the open graph. Did I actually download it? I think maybe I didn't. So that's in Figma. I was trying to find like a good font to use, but didn't arrive to one. So let's do it now. I think I'm gonna do Lemonada. It's in Greek, would be lemon juice. So let's see. Does this image just work? Is it just too cute? So I just let it be with just this image. Let's see. Let's try to add some copy. Let's say put Goblin here. And we don't need any of these. Oh, this has a cute gradient. That's interesting. Nope, 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 nope. So yeah, will this be like unreadable? Is one of the questions that I have. Like, what do I need to do to make it more readable? Maybe just put it in the center. want like a nice square behind it. Not a designer, let's believe it or not. But of course this should be lemonade. Limonada. And any other colors that would make this like kinda nice. Maybe it is actually nice on like dark. Let's pick one of the stone ones. This one. Cute? Not cute? Let me know. So let's group these together. Probably with Command Z. Enough support. We'll be getting experts to design these. Alright, so we have the open graph here. Let's slide it in. I'm gonna send it here. So all the favicons should be ready. And I make this part of the previous commit. Good. So next, let's style to taste. And first thing that will make a bit of difference is the font. So let's bring in our Lemonada font. We'll be using font source yet again. And you may remember in our packetization, we had font source variables until sans. That's gone. We want this one. We want to add it as a dev dependency to bundle it in. Good. But now, in our layout file, we do want to bring in Lemonada. And in our app CSS, we want to specify that our fancy font is indeed Lemonada. And that one should update. That's the place. Maybe it's Lemonada variable, actually. Yeah, it's Lemonada variable. There you go. New font. In our tailwind config, you may remember that we just specify the font that we want to use, and then we spread the defaults from tailwind. They have quite a few, like even if you just do system UI, you should be fine, you should get something readable, but why not have like every fallback that they've so kindly provided for us? It costs you nothing. And since we're in the style taste section, let's also say that this should be font fancy. This part. Cool. But now let's make the biggest difference by picking different themes. So in Daisy UI, last time it seems like we used coffee and retro. This one, quite nice. Now I'm thinking forest for dark mode. And which one was I thinking for light mode? Definitely not corporate. Was it emerald? I don't think so. Pastel, fantasy was appropriate. Ah, lemonade, yeah. So lemonade actually for the light mode, and forest for the dark mode. In bank, we had a bit of difference already. Maybe not so much in dark mode, but in light mode for sure. Can do some work to make this primary color be exactly the same, or like to appear the same, by setting what's gonna be our brand color. But because they are like annoyingly similar, we could set the environment variable for primary. So which one do we want to use? Let's see. It's gonna actually look nice. So do we use like the emerald palette? Let's see how that would look. So maybe for both, let's see, let's say the primary color is gonna be this. And I like it. Nice green. Maybe too bright. So that's the point where we could say that for dark mode, I do want the primary color to be this. For light mode, maybe I'm gonna go slightly darker. I think that's fine. Dark mode still looks very nice actually. But this one, let's do one shade darker as well. Too dark. Let's pick this, and again this could be like any color that you want, any color under the sun. We use it here. It's nice. Wow, the dark is super dark. Like you can hardly see the shadow. So maybe we should do like the blur animation here. Let's have this blur. So the side nav, or actually our layout, renders the side nav, but also renders this label, which clicks this button essentially, and this one. See if backdrop blur does anything. It's always visible. Well, that's unfortunate. Why is that always visible? So I want something to happen only when this is true. Only when this is checked, I want something to be applied. Let's see if Tailwind has something for this. This is kind of fun, like a styling aside. Checked. Sibling. We can give it the peer class. So here we can say peer checked. Backdrop blur. Is that how it works? Or is it like dashes somewhere? Yeah, dash. Clear dash. Not quite. Felt like it was gonna work, but not quite. Oh, you can even do halves selector. That's quite good. You cannot animate the blur, so we're gonna be doing something else in the end. But I'm just curious. So only previous siblings can be peers, which they are. Are they not peers? No, they're not, because it's in the inside. Come on, Johnny. Come on, Johnny. Right, so anyway, we are gonna do it in a different way. So no peer here. Style plus and nope. Style blank processes, and we want to say toggle, specifically toggle drawer. That's checked. Then find the drawer side, not a sibling. Label. Or overlay. And do like backdrop blur. Is that the real thing? Let's do like this. So you see that the blur is hitting now, great, but it's not animating in. And as it stands, you cannot animate this, but there is a trick, which I'll find from, sorry, mosquitoes, which we can find in my website, which is also part of Johnnify Premium. Well, actually, my website is open source and free, but the Johnnify website is part of Johnnify Premium. So in this one, after a suggestion in Discord, we are applying the backdrop filter like this with opacity from 0 to 1, because you cannot animate how blurry you want this to be, this filter, but you can animate its opacity. So this should achieve the same effect. So that's the one we'll be doing. And let's apply this motion. Kinda works. Why are we doing all of this? Because it's so dark that you can't really tell that there is an overlay going on. You can more tell here. But yeah, I'd say that this doesn't make it like too bad. Light mode, and just a bit nicer dark mode. Just a bit. All right, so what about this guy? This paw print. Well, this paw print is in the footer, I suppose, but maybe we'll have like a different footer since I did open this one. Let's do our classic footer for this one. Let's do this. But we need a GitHub icon, which I can steal from this. Select an artist. But this one is spelled 4. Let's do it spelled 5 way. Let's just copy all of this content. And I guess we have a heart. Something that the Tin Man cannot say. Was it the Tin Man in the Wizard of Oz who didn't have a heart? I think so. Scarecrow, no brain. Lion, no courage. Was that the one without a heart? Don't remember. Don't need the chat's help. So for the footer, focus. Pulsing heart. Just in components. I didn't make this an icon. Alright, so we have this classic thingy. GitHub icon looking a bit squirrely. What's wrong? It's 16 by 16, that view box. Perfect. Nailed it. And here, it's like a different color. Ah, yeah, no primary here. I guess these are colors, but what are they? Let's check this UI. Colors, maybe BG primary, is what we're looking for. Maybe not. Ah, this one. So why is it not green? So this heart, we're talking about this heart, this, the fill, its current color. If I make this red, like it changes, great. But suspicious. Alright, looks nice. Do we have any color classes or something? Let's make them brighter. Yeah, I think it looks decent. Wow. What's this yellow color? I guess the secondary is a bit weird. But hey, I like it. So maybe enough styling here in the about page. Let's fix that one. I'm not going to be really doing the copy pass here. But subtitle, no. So for H2, we have this. For H1s, we have this. So we say like section title. Maybe we shouldn't name these components like semantically like this, but hey. These are quite big. Right, I think that's good enough. Whoa, too big. I would think like max width, max W pros. Is that the real thing? Yes, it is, but maybe I don't want it on the container. Maybe I want it on the sections. Maybe I want the paragraphs. All right, looking kind of official. Maybe this one should be a bit smaller. It's kind of flipping out. I don't know why. I need to figure it out. Need to be quite precise. So do I like dark mode much better than light mode in this one? I think so. It's like dungeon related. So maybe in this example, we can default to dark mode. So let's do that. So that one as well. So in our theme toggle, let's copy the example I had before. As for instructions, check out this project. So instead of doing the match media thing to see what the user prefers, I'm like, I have an opinion. I'm a designer too. I can be a designer too. And I'm just going to return dark mode without checking your preference. If you have played with a toggle, then we're going to respect that. So you can get indeed back to light mode. So it will remember this, you can see. It remembers your preference, but no matter what your preference is, if you haven't played with this, it will start in dark mode. Person. Some cheeky extra width here, not good. Is it this? Is it our container situation? The lame way to fix it is to just hide the overflow. But we can do better. With no aside, we still have it. Great. And so, with no main content, still have the problem. Interesting. So is it just this that's like magically bigger? No matter what. Surely it's not this. That makes no sense. So are you telling me that if I had nothing in the layout, yeah, no scroll bar here, great. I didn't have an aside in the layout. Right, no scroll bar here either, looks like. Great. No label, because that's the thing we messed around with. So it looks like the answer is yes. just do it here. So with the label, we get that extra padding. Oh no, not true. Right, I'm not gonna focus it now. It's gonna be something that I fix offline. We're kinda stuck. It seems on this specific, like, small iPhone, I guess, even the bigger ones, we do get like this overflow, and you need to scroll to the right, which you definitely don't want to do. Be awful. But I don't know what exactly is causing it, because it looks like even if I just have the drawer, then it does this. Is it this? Is it this? Is it the weird blur stuff that they added? No, it might be something else, so I will need to debug it. There is like some styling in the HTML, I suppose. Let's have a quick look at CSS. Nothing on this. Nothing on the body. No. On the root. Not really. Like screen is not a real thing. It's not a real thing, mate. Anyway, we'll fix this offline. And until then, just remove this, pretend it never happened. Because what are we going to do next? I think we're kind of done with the styling. And let's deploy. Version control. Deploy to result. So all of the styling done. Can also have one more sanity check. This logo. And yeah, for the error page, I need like new art because I have the error detectors here, which are quite fun, to be honest. The not found. Have this image, which I should also change, make it on brand, but that's something we can do offline. So that's good. Let's double check. So project name was portfolio. Anything with portfolio, it's here. It's the analytics. So let's. Should we just change that? Loot Goblin is available. And Paulina here. Oh, the site manifest. Let's change that. And the background color. What's the background color? The theme color should be what we put in our tailwind config here. Maybe for dark mode. It looks nice. And the background color is this, which is it like literally black? Maybe. Let's translate this from color space. All right. So, anything else? Lena is also in the tests. Let's fix the tests. So actually, what we want that to be not Goblin, and then we can navigate to actually the about page, and that's it. What do we actually say about? Run this should work. Perfect. And on mobile, I guess we could have like the about link instead of having this menu. Yeah, that's fine. Since we have it, we'll keep it. So let's see if all the tests pass. Doing tests going here. Oh, suspicious. What did we forget? We'll have a video to check. Here. No, not quite. So it does manage to open this thing, but it can't find what? Contact. Yeah, because it's about. And here. Right, videos are useful. And this again. They still don't work. Whoops. Find me on socials. I didn't sense that either. Come on, Johnny. You can do it. Great. So it's now for Goblin or reinvent. Where do we publish that? New GitHub repo, and then we deploy, and we're good to go. So it doesn't matter where in GitHub we go. We need to create a new repository, put it in the correct space. Private repo, follow along, or get it with with Johnnify Premium, no less than Spotify. Copy this, paste here. It's on GitHub. Great. Conduct resell. add a new project. Goblin. We need to do a couple things, which we can't do yet, so we'll get trolled again this time. It's the first time I remembered to do it well. We need to disable deployment protection, which no one finds useful. Besides, very seldom when people get upsold for this. Ooh. And we need to change the node version. So we can do this in advance. We need to go to settings for the project. This one. Node 20. Save that. And deployment protection. No thanks. If people guess the URLs, they're free to go there. It's fine. So now we can try to deploy again. And it looks like we don't get the Goblin domain. Goblin's vault. You too can enable my domain, but there's a Dixon like in Johnnify Premium, and I will spend it into buying the lootgoblin.com or similar. Oh, perfect. So it is deployed. Great. No confetti today. We have view transitions. We have light and dark mode. And we're going to be adding analytics as well with plausible. So the domain actually our app HTML will be using plausible yet again. And here we need to specify the domain, be Goblin. And we can go to the plausible dashboard and add the website. Add this one. Exit this. And this one should deploy quite fast, and we should get our first views soon. And if there are no questions in the chat, we're gonna call it a day. Start preparing for Tuesday stream, where we'll be setting up database, most probably SQLite with Terso. We're gonna do some cool stuff with that, but literally not bad for like 1 or 2 hours of work. If I was gonna do something, I would be adding like a contact email form, something like that, which we could do with our analytics solution as well. We could have a form that's just an email capture that says enter your email for updates, and then if you don't want to set up like MailChimp or ConvertKit or a database or anything else, and you already have set up analytics, which is a good idea to do and much less of a hassle, then you can actually track events with any analytics solution, I'm sure. But with Plausible, you can do a fetch request and have any random props that you want. So you can have props email and then have the person's email and track that event, and then you can find them later if you want to add them to a mailing list. That's a light way to do it, like not like production ready, but in a let's go fast way. I think it would be neat. So do that, deploy. think so. Did that build? Because they had problems with GitHub integrations last time. Looks like it. Ah, I have an ad blocker. Lol. Classic. Classics must be. All right, so here we are, analytics setup. We get that tick as well. And I talked about how do you do this with, like if you just have the analytics thing, we could do a little form that on the backend will be telling to plausible, this event happened, this person with this email submitted the form. That's one way to do it. If you're using something like Vercel for analytics, they're quite expensive, so they're super generous with the essentials, but the upsells are real. That's how they get you. So I do think custom events are not enabled unless you are paying for Vercel on a pro plan. So you wouldn't do it with that. If you're using Google Analytics, which is free to begin with, you can definitely do it like that. So you could also wait for next time, or we'll be talking about database, and then we'll be actually capturing people's emails there. That's how we'd start. Or if you have something like MailChimp or ConvertKit, like a mailing list solution, you could be adding people there. And I think, even though we talked about this, we are not actually going to do it. And I'll give some more time for the chat to ask any questions or tell me what they want to see next. The plan for this is to have a website. So does this like actually work? Overflow problem. Anyway, if you are familiar with Dungeons and Dragons or other pen and paper games, there are tons nowadays, more popular than ever. A big thing is your heroes, your friends, are successful in challenges because they tackled the dungeon, they surmounted the dragon, overthrew the dragon, and whatnot. And as a result, they get cool loot. And how cool can the loot get? Well, this app is supposed to help you get there, help inspire you into having some really cool loot for your players. The Dungeons and Dragons, the Dungeon Master's Manual, and all the resources are full of cool loot to begin with, but you can always have like something else, some homebrew loot. So the idea is here you have a table of cool loot things across various settings, so not just Dungeons and Dragons, not just Faerun or Forgotten Realms or whatever. It can be sci-fi, maybe Star Wars themed, or Mass Effect. We'll see how much we'll extend it. The first stage would be you create the list, so the person that is responsible for this website, you have a database and you add the loot drops in flavor text, all of that. And next stage would be using ChatGPT to curate that list or add some flavor text or even add some images for some of the popular loot, something like that. Then it would be a chat interface. Some people can describe their situation. It's a party of 4, they're level 5, they are in Baldur's Gate. They just did this, what loot should I give them? Give me some options, and it would respond from things from the table. I think that would be fun. And last stage, potentially, if we do it in this app, would be users, visitors of this website have accounts and they can submit their own loot, and that gets upvoted, downvoted. Can go lots of ways. You can even have like a bit of a marketplace of all the items that are there and see which ones are like the most popular ones, or favorite them to have a little list of the things that you want to introduce into your table. You can do lots of cool stuff here. You can do accounts here. You can turn this into a SaaS, I think. But I don't know. I don't think this is going to be one of my big business ideas. I'm going to stick to Johnnify Premium and make this just for fun. Just something that I hope fellow D&D and pen and paper RPG friends are going to find helpful. Or again, if you're a game designer, maybe you need some ideas for loot. I don't know. Most of all, I could use ideas for loot, so do suggest if you have any, and we'll keep expanding on this project. So next step will be database integration. I think we'll start by capturing people's email. A great way to start and get a website live is by just having the email capture, that lead generation thing. So you have something, you have the logo, you have the basic look, and you keep working behind the scenes to make all the functionality. But until then, if people end up here, you can capture their email, and then you can send them an email when you're done, no matter if it's in a day or a week or a month, and tell them, now the site is functional, give it a try, please. And then we're gonna start doing stuff like reading from database tables, the loot drops, the one-to-many relationships, the man-to-many relationships, lots of complexity there, but that's the job. That's how you get there. You start from a static website, just a portfolio marketing site, and then you get into something like this, something that looks like a database. And if you made it this far, you can make it all the way. If you can fetch data from an API and or a database and render them nicely on the screen, then officially you're an engineer. I would take you in my team and I would happily work with you, because that's 99.9% of the job. When it comes to the code, the actual 90% of the job is communicating, talking with others, explaining when you have problems or objections or questions, and be nice to work with. I guess like all the soft skills that some people don't like, they're actually the most important part. If you can do a map or a reduce well, it's good for interviews in real life, not important. All right, so we've managed to end with some words of wisdom by me. Hope you had fun today. I certainly did. And I'll recover my strength, plan for this. Let me know suggestions, concerns, ideas, inspirations, anything you want in the comments. Until then, I will catch you next week. I will catch you Tuesday. Have amazing Friday evenings, have amazing weekends, and I'll see you around. Bye.